My beloved child. Pause for one quiet moment, because there are moments in life that do not arrive with loud voices. They arrive like a gentle whisper that somehow finds the deepest part of your heart. This is one of those moments. Don't skip, because something important is waiting for you, and perhaps this message has reached you at exactly the right time. There is something your soulmate has been carrying in silence for longer than you realize. Not because they wanted to hide it from you, but because some feelings become so precious that words never seem large enough to hold them. Every day they searched for the perfect sentence, yet every sentence felt incomplete. Every time they imagined speaking openly, their heart reminded them that the right words are never rushed, they arrive when two souls are finally ready to hear them. If you have ever wondered why certain memories suddenly return without warning, why familiar thoughts quietly appear when everything around you seems ordinary, why your heart becomes still for no obvious reason, perhaps those moments are not interruptions at all. Perhaps they are gentle invitations to notice something that has been unfolding behind the scenes long before today. Stay till the end, because this is only the beginning of what has been waiting to reach you. Your soulmate has imagined this conversation more times than you could ever count. Sometimes while watching the evening sky change its colors. Sometimes while walking through places that felt strangely familiar. Sometimes in complete silence, where no one else could hear the conversations taking place inside their heart. In every version of that conversation, one hope remained unchanged: they wished you would understand what they could never fully explain. The surprising part is not that they have something to say. The surprising part is how long they have protected those words instead of releasing them too quickly. Some messages grow stronger while they wait. They gather kindness. They gather patience. They gather wisdom that only time can create. Maybe you have sensed this without realizing it. Maybe there were days when you felt unexpectedly encouraged for no visible reason. Days when your heart felt lighter after carrying questions for so long. Moments when peace quietly replaced uncertainty without asking permission. Those moments were never empty. They were preparing you for something meaningful. There is a beautiful difference between waiting and becoming ready. Waiting can feel passive. Becoming ready changes everything. While you believed nothing was happening, your story was quietly being shaped in ways that could not be seen from where you were standing. Every unexpected delay carried a lesson. Every quiet season strengthened something within you that will soon become impossible to overlook. Don't skip, because the next realization may feel more personal than you expect. Your soulmate has finally begun to understand something remarkable. They no longer admire only your brightest moments. They have come to appreciate your quiet strength, the version of you that keeps moving even when nobody notices, the kindness you offer without expecting recognition. The hope you continue to protect even after difficult chapters. Those are the qualities that stayed in their thoughts long after everything else faded into the background. And perhaps that is why this message feels different. It is not asking you to become someone new. It is gently reminding you of who you have been all along. Sometimes we search so far into the future that we forget the quiet beauty already growing inside today's ordinary moments. Yet your soulmate has been noticing those small details. They have been collecting them like treasured memories, believing that one day you would finally understand how deeply those unnoticed moments mattered. Something important is waiting for you. Not because your future depends on one dramatic event, but because meaningful change often begins with one simple realization. A single thought can open a completely different perspective. One quiet understanding can transform the way tomorrow feels. Your soulmate hopes that when you hear the rest of this message, you will not focus only on what they felt. They hope you will recognize what has always existed inside your own heart as well. Some connections are not built through constant conversation. They are strengthened through quiet understanding, through unseen encouragement. Through moments when two hearts continue moving toward the same light without realizing how close they have already become. Right now, there is still one part of their message they have not been able to say aloud. It is the sentence they repeated countless times before deciding it was finally time to let it be heard. It is simple, sincere, and far more meaningful than anyone around them could have imagined. When those words are finally revealed, they will change the way everything leading up to this moment suddenly makes sense. And that message has only just begun. The quietest moments often carry the greatest meaning. Before the next part of this message unfolds, allow yourself to simply listen without rushing ahead. Don't skip, because every sentence is leading you toward something your heart has been patiently waiting to understand. There came a moment when your soulmate stopped trying to silence their thoughts. Instead of pushing them away, they finally allowed themselves to sit with every memory, every unanswered question, and every feeling that continued to return no matter how busy life became. What surprised them most was not the intensity of those emotions, it was their consistency. Time had changed many things, yet one truth remained gently present. Whenever they imagined a future filled with genuine peace, your presence somehow found its way into that picture. It was never about perfection. It was never about expecting every path to be smooth or every chapter to unfold exactly as imagined. It was about recognizing a quiet sense of comfort that appeared whenever they thought of you. Some people leave behind loud impressions that fade with time. Others leave a gentle light that continues glowing long after the moment has passed. Your soulmate began to realize which kind of light you had become. Stay till the end, because something important is waiting for you. One evening, surrounded by ordinary moments that seemed no different from countless others, they paused unexpectedly. Nothing extraordinary happened around them. No dramatic sign appeared. Yet something inside became remarkably clear. They understood that the answers they had been searching for were never hidden somewhere far away. They had been growing slowly within their own heart, becoming stronger with every passing day. That realization brought a quiet smile. For the first time in a long while, they stopped asking whether their feelings were real. Instead, they began asking how they could honor those feelings with patience, kindness, and sincerity. It changed the way they looked at every memory connected to you. Even the smallest conversations seemed brighter when viewed through this new understanding. Perhaps you have experienced something similar without realizing it. Sometimes your heart becomes unexpectedly calm while everyone else seems hurried. Sometimes a familiar thought returns just when you needed encouragement most. Those moments are easy to overlook, yet they often carry the deepest meaning because they arrive so gently. Don't skip, because the next realization may feel strangely familiar. Your soulmate has been quietly noticing the qualities that many people overlook. Your resilience when life asks for more than you expected. Your ability to continue showing kindness even after disappointment. The hope you continue protecting, even when nobody applauds your effort. Those are not ordinary qualities. They are the kind that leave lasting impressions on people who truly see beyond appearances. Little by little, they realized something beautiful. Love is not measured only by grand declarations. Sometimes it is revealed through consistent thoughts, quiet appreciation, and the desire to see another person smile even from a distance. It is found in the moments when someone's happiness begins to matter almost as much as your own. That understanding changed everything for them. Now they carry one gentle wish. They hope that when this message reaches your heart, you will not immediately search for certainty or quick answers. Instead, they hope you will notice how far you have already come. The person you are today carries more wisdom, more compassion, and more quiet strength than the version of yourself who first began this journey. Growth often happens so gradually that we only recognize it when we pause long enough to look back. Something important is waiting for you. Your soulmate believes there is one memory you have almost forgotten. A simple moment that once seemed ordinary, yet has quietly remained unforgettable in their heart. They have returned to it again and again because it reminds them of something genuine, something untouched by expectations or appearances. That memory has become a gentle reminder that some connections never disappear. They simply grow deeper with time. And now, after holding back for so long, they are preparing to reveal why that single memory means far more than anyone could have imagined. The words they are about to share are not dramatic. They are not complicated. Yet once they are spoken, you may never look at that forgotten moment in quite the same way again. Sometimes the next chapter begins so quietly that it almost feels like a whisper carried by the wind. Yet those are often the moments that remain with us the longest. Stay with this message a little longer, because what comes next is unfolding one gentle step at a time, and something important is waiting for you. Your soulmate has returned to one particular memory more times than they can explain. It was not the grandest day, nor the most unforgettable by the world's standards. In fact, anyone watching from the outside might have thought it was simply another ordinary moment. But for them, something changed that day in a way they could never fully put into words. They remember the feeling more clearly than the details. They remember a quiet sense of peace that settled over their heart, as though everything else around them had faded into the background for just a little while. In that brief moment, they realized that some people do not enter our lives to create noise, they arrive to bring calm. And ever since then, that calm has become something they have quietly carried with them. Don't skip, because the next part of this story may remind you of something you have almost forgotten yourself. There were times when they questioned whether those feelings would fade with the passing seasons. They believed that distance, busy days, and changing circumstances might slowly erase what they carried inside. Yet every time they reached that conclusion, life surprised them in the gentlest way. A familiar song. A familiar place. A familiar sunset. Even the smallest moments had a way of bringing your presence back into their thoughts, not with sadness, but with gratitude. They began to understand that the heart remembers what truly matters, even when the mind becomes distracted. And that realization quietly changed everything. Instead of wondering whether the connection still existed, they began asking a different question. What if this feeling has been growing stronger all along? That question stayed with them. It followed them through quiet mornings and peaceful evenings. It remained with them during moments of reflection and unexpected joy. Slowly, they stopped searching for reasons to doubt what they already knew deep inside. Stay till the end, because the most meaningful part of this message is still ahead. Your soulmate also hopes you know something that perhaps you rarely tell yourself. You have a way of leaving lasting impressions without trying. Your kindness lingers in people's memories. Your quiet strength inspires more than you realize. Your willingness to keep believing, even after uncertain seasons, has become one of the qualities they admire most. They never expected those simple qualities to become unforgettable. Yet somehow they did. As these thoughts became clearer, your soulmate found themselves writing words they never intended anyone else to read. They filled pages with hopes, quiet reflections, and dreams they had protected for a very long time. Those pages were never meant to impress anyone. They were simply honest conversations between their heart and the future they quietly imagined. One sentence appeared again and again, no matter how many times they started over. It was always different in wording. But the meaning never changed. Every version carried the same gentle truth. I hope they know how much they have changed my life simply by being themselves. Those words were never spoken aloud. Until now. Something important is waiting for you. Because your soulmate has reached a place where silence no longer feels necessary. Not because they suddenly have every answer, but because they have finally realized that sincerity is far more valuable than perfect timing. They are no longer waiting for flawless circumstances. They are waiting for an honest moment. Perhaps this is that moment. Perhaps this message has found you because your own heart has quietly become ready to receive what once would have been too easy to overlook. There is still one part they have not shared. One realization they discovered only after looking back over every chapter that led them here. When that final piece falls into place, the meaning behind every quiet memory, every unexpected feeling, and every gentle reminder will suddenly become clearer than ever before. And that revelation is closer than you think. There are moments when the heart stops searching for louder answers because it finally recognizes the quiet truth that has been standing beside it all along. This is one of those moments. Stay with this message, because what is about to unfold may help you see familiar memories through completely new eyes. Your soulmate recently found themselves reflecting on everything they once believed was coincidence. The unexpected thoughts. The peaceful moments that appeared without invitation. The strange comfort that arrived whenever your name crossed their mind. For a long time, they dismissed those moments as passing emotions. Now they see them differently. They understand that not every meaningful experience arrives with certainty. Some arrive softly, asking only to be noticed. And the more they listened to those quiet moments, the more one truth continued to rise above every other thought. You never truly left their heart. Not because they refused to move forward, but because every step forward somehow brought them closer to understanding what your presence had always meant. Don't skip, because something important is waiting for you. One afternoon, while looking through simple reminders of the past, they paused over something so ordinary that almost anyone else would have overlooked it. It wasn't a grand message or an unforgettable photograph. It was a small detail connected to a memory you probably haven't thought about in a very long time. They smiled. Not because the memory was perfect, but because it reminded them of how genuine everything had always felt. It was never about trying to impress each other. It was about feeling understood without needing endless explanations. That realization stayed with them long after the moment had passed. Since then, they have begun noticing something beautiful. Every chapter of their journey has quietly pointed back to the same lesson. Real connections do not ask us to become someone else. They gently encourage us to become more fully ourselves. Perhaps that is why your soulmate no longer wishes they had chosen different words or different timing. Instead, they have become thankful for every lesson that taught them patience, every quiet season that strengthened their appreciation, and every unanswered question that eventually led them toward greater clarity. Stay till the end, because the next realization may become the one you remember long after this message ends. There is something they hope you never forget. You have a way of bringing peace into places that once felt uncertain. Not by trying to fix everything. Not by having every answer. Simply by being authentic. That quiet authenticity became unforgettable. It reminded them that trust grows gently. Hope grows steadily. And meaningful bonds are built one sincere moment at a time. Your soulmate has carried one simple wish through every season. They hope that when life offers you moments of joy, you welcome them without hesitation. They hope that when challenges appear, you remember how much strength already lives within you. And above all, they hope you never underestimate the quiet impact your heart has on the lives you touch. Something important is waiting for you. Because there is one final piece of this message they have protected until now. It is not a dramatic confession. It is not a promise meant to sound extraordinary. It is something far more lasting. A realization. They finally understood that the greatest gift they could offer was not perfect words or perfect timing. It was honesty. Honesty about what they have learned. Honesty about how deeply they value the connection they feel. And honesty about the future they quietly hope to build, one genuine moment at a time. The sentence they are preparing to share next has remained in their heart longer than any other. It is simple enough to fit into a single breath. Yet meaningful enough to stay with you long after these words fade. And when you hear it, every part of this journey may suddenly feel as though it has been leading to that one quiet, unforgettable moment all along. Not every message arrives the moment it is written. Some wait until the heart is quiet enough to truly receive it. If you have stayed with these words this far, remain a little longer, because something important is waiting for you, and the meaning behind everything you've heard is beginning to reveal itself. Your soulmate reached a point where silence no longer felt like protection. For a long time, they believed that keeping their feelings hidden was the safest choice. They thought that if they waited long enough, the questions would disappear on their own. But instead, the opposite happened. The longer they listened to their own heart, the clearer its voice became. It did not ask for perfection. It did not demand certainty. It simply whispered one gentle reminder again and again. Be honest. Those two words stayed with them. They appeared in quiet mornings before the day had fully begun. They returned during peaceful evenings when the world finally slowed down. They echoed through ordinary moments that suddenly felt extraordinary because they carried one simple realization: you had become part of the story they could no longer imagine without. Don't skip, because the next few moments may become the most meaningful of all. Your soulmate wants you to know something they have never fully expressed. You were never remembered only because of a single conversation. You were remembered because of the way you made ordinary moments feel meaningful. A smile that arrived at just the right time. A kind word that lingered long after it was spoken. A quiet understanding that required no explanation. Those small moments became treasured memories. And over time, they formed something much greater than your soulmate ever expected. They began to understand that true connection is not built in dramatic moments alone. It grows through consistency, through sincerity, through the quiet choice to care, even when no one else notices. Perhaps that is why your presence has remained so close to their heart. Not because life stood still, but because every new chapter quietly confirmed what they had been feeling all along. Stay till the end. Because one gentle truth is about to come into focus. There was a night when your soulmate looked toward the future and asked themselves a question they had been avoiding for far too long. If I could speak freely, without fear of saying the wrong thing, what would I truly want them to know? The answer came almost immediately. Not in complicated words. Not in a long explanation. Just one quiet thought that filled their heart with unexpected peace. I hope they always remember how deeply they are appreciated. That sentence changed everything. It reminded them that appreciation is often more powerful than perfect speeches. That gratitude speaks with a quiet confidence. And that some of the most meaningful feelings are the ones expressed with simplicity. Something important is waiting for you. Because your soulmate believes this message is not only about what they wish to say. It is also about what your own heart may already understand. Maybe you have felt a quiet shift recently. Maybe certain memories have returned with new meaning. Maybe you have noticed yourself smiling without fully knowing why. Sometimes the heart recognizes a change before the mind can explain it, and perhaps that gentle change has been preparing both of you for this very moment. There is still one final thought your soulmate has been holding close. It is the sentence they promised themselves they would only share when the time felt right. Not because it needed perfect timing, but because it deserved complete honesty. When those words are finally spoken, they will not ask for anything in return. They will simply offer the quiet truth your soulmate has carried through every season, every memory, and every hopeful tomorrow. And that truth is closer than ever to being revealed.